Hi everyone and welcome to Club 3 episode 15 of Rolling in the Isles, an FM20 British Isles Journeyman series with me, the United City FM. Welcome along. Things are continuing to go very, very well. Since the last time you and I were together for the Nottingham Forest game, we've played 3 matches, 1, 2 and drawn 1, which has been very positive. It means that we currently sit in 3rd place in the Championship, 1 point off of Huddersfield above us, which is really great. So everything's going very, very well. Today we get one of the relegation candidates as the opponents in Wigan, but I'm sure that they will provide a stern test even if they are sitting in one of the relegation spots just at the moment, because that's how the Championship works. It's a really hard league to get anything from, and today is not going to be any different to any other game, I'm sure of that. So Wigan to come. There's not an awful lot to talk about other than I've made a signing. I don't know if I've shown you this guy. He's coming in January. He's a Brazilian youngster, 18 years old, called Silas. And he's coming in with some very, very good basic attributes and some room for improvement. But what I'm hoping for is that he'll shadow for the second half of the season Roberto in the central midfield role. And if at some point we can't get Roberto back on loan anymore, or we can't buy him, which I don't think we can because he's quite expensive already, then hopefully this guy will at some point be ready to step up into that role with a little bit of training. So that's the only other bit of transfer news that I've done so far in terms of the January window coming up in just around a month from now in terms of game time. But if we go and look at Roberto, you can see that he's head and shoulders above Silas. But if we can get Silas up to this sort of standard, we've got a real gem on our hands. And there's no reason why not, because Silas's determination was decent and he had good passing, good pace. So, you know, there's enough for him to be working on, I think, to potentially become a star for us in the future. So we'll see him in January, so not long now. And there might be 1 or 2 other possibilities to do some stuff in January. We've still got 3 million in the bank. Wages we might need to rejig a little bit when Silas comes into the club. But there will probably be a couple of guys that go out as well. We've got a couple of slightly unhappy players. The likes of Ben Johnson, for example, wants more football. There's a couple more in there as well. The likes of Jacob Murphy isn't unhappy, but he's wanted by clubs. And so, you know, depending on who comes in for our players depends on what we have to do about it, really. So there's some stuff to come in January. If we look at the current fixture list, we'll be at Swansea in the next episode just to finish off the calendar year. And by the time I come back to play Southampton at the beginning of February, I'll have gone through the January transfer window and we'll update you on exactly how we get on there. We've drawn Reading in the FA Cup, which isn't quite as easy as I'd like it to be. I'd like, a slightly lower team than that just to get us going in the cup competition. But we'll have to give that a good go and see if we can progress into the sort of middle stages of the FA Cup at least. So that's still to come. But today, as I say, is all about Wigan. Let's go check out the tactics page. You can see the tactic remains the same. The structure of play remains the same. The formation remains the same. The personnel pretty much remains the same. We've changed Ida again into the pressing forward. Just as I said last episode, we'll be changing his role a little bit just to see if we can get the best out of him. He got a good performance out of him last time in the Nottingham Forest game, didn't we? But since then, again, it hasn't done too much. He's now got 6 in 13, which is, 1 in 2. That's not too bad, but I'd still like a little bit more from him. But the rest of the side is playing very well at the moment. We've got Decker, our reserve goalkeeper, who's out for a couple of days, so he's not able to be around for today. McNair is still about 4 weeks away from coming back from his 6-month layoff, so he's still got a bit of a way to go. And I'm not sure with the attributes that he's now got that he's going to find it easy to get into our squad. We might have to move him on possibly, but we'll make that decision in January at some point. And the only other one that's out today is Knight, who's just picked up a little bit of a knock as well for a couple of days. So he wasn't going to play anyway, but he's out for today. So the team for today's game against Wigan Athletic is Bazunu in goal, Colin at right back, Target at left back, Harwood, Bellis and Story in central defence, with Joku, Roberto and Sibley in central midfield, with McCowan on the right, Loku Doku on the left and Ida up top. with a bench of Burns, Cooper, May, Crowley, Murphy, Murray and Clark. So let's get into today's game and see what happens. So I've calmly suggested to the players that if we play our game, we're more than capable of winning this match. Put the onus on them a little bit. We're at home, so that helps against an opposition that are struggling in the league a little bit. So, you know, we've got to be reasonably confident that we can get something. Roberto on the ball, just outside the penalty box, sweeps it right the way over his left-hand side to Loku Doku, who takes his time, back to target. And what an amazingly good shot that is by our left-back target. What a fantastic shot that was. Lovely move. Roberto on this right-hand side spots that Loku Doku's right the way over on the left-hand side, all on his own. And he takes his time, gets into that penalty area, right to the byline, and then sweeps it back to target, who first time shoots into that far top corner. And that is a magnificent strike for a fullback, and we very early on in the game go 1-up, and I can breathe a little bit easier at the moment. Doubly so now. Loku Doku with a header from a fantastic cross in from our other fullback Colin on that right hand side. And wow, what a brilliant start this has been. I know Wigan are struggling and I know we're in good form, but any time you get 2 up in 4 or 5 minutes in a game, you've got to celebrate that. That's an incredible start to the match. And, you know, we hardly had a chance to take a breath, really. What's been given here? Free kick just on the edge of the area for Wigan to get something back. And they do. What a brilliant strike that was. Sam Greenwood. I thought it was Mason Greenwood for a minute. Dropped down into the Championship. I thought, how do they manage that? But it's not. It's a guy called Sam Greenwood. And that is an excellent free kick that the goalkeeper Bazunu had absolutely no chance of getting anywhere near. Curled it right away from outside the post, inside the post, and puts them back into the game at 2-1. We need to concentrate and focus now, though. So let's see if this particular attack can reap some rewards for us. But they don't. They get a block in, Wigan, but then they mess it up. They completely mess it up. They had such a good challenge on that left-hand side for them, the right-hand side for us, where they won the ball and then they go they go and try and put it back to the goalkeeper, I think. Let's see what happens. McCowan is blocked on his cross in and they win it back here and they get pressured and he goes back to the goalkeeper and Ida is in between the two, the defender and the goalkeeper, nicks in, grabs the ball, pokes it home, and we are 3-1 up. And again, we've got that 2-goal cushion, which is great. And we are dominating the match in terms of the statistics, and they're making mistakes, which is not good. And that's the way it works for teams in relegation. McCowan with a cross in gets a second more. Whoa! I was going to say he gets a second attempt to cross the ball in, which was going to be a bit lucky because of the first one was blocked so nicely. But instead of crossing on that second occasion, look, the cross comes in originally. It's well cleared, really, but he sees the ball very nicely, gets a bit lucky, and then rather than running down the side of the penalty box to get another cross in, takes a pot shot. And it catches everybody by surprise, including me. And we go 4-1 up after 28 minutes of the game played. And this is just turning into an absolutely brilliant performance again to keep our run going. And right over the top for Richards to chase onto. Are they going to get a second? They're not. On that occasion, our defence were very lucky. They didn't go with the run, but Bazunu stands up very tall and closes down the space and gets a hand on it, I think, and parries it so we can clear it eventually. A chance for us on that left-hand side, and that's a very good chance gone wasted. A very good free kick comes in off that far side, and we almost get another good goal from it, but not quite. It's cleared off the line, and then they clear it properly. But look at these match stats leading into half-time. As we get to half-time, 12 shots, 6 on target. They've only had 2. We've had 64% of the possession, and there's just some great work being done by our players there. So passionately we go in and we say, I'm really pleased with it. Keep things going. They're a bit complacent, which I don't like. So we'll just have to watch that a little bit in the second half and possibly use a shout or two just to refocus them a little bit. So let's praise them and see if that retunes the mind a little bit in terms of their attitude towards the rest of this game, because Wigan can still come back at us like that if we don't. And it was a good long shot, but Bazunu really didn't have too much of an issue. That's helped fire them up again, that shout, which is really positive. Let's see if we can maintain some of that. A lot of them are in a good place, but there is still a little bit of complacency around. 75 minutes. Let's go and see what we can take out of the team just to get us over the line. Sibley, complacent. Don't like it. Also on a 6.9 compared to everyone else. Crowley can come in. He's coming back from a bit of a knock, so it gives him some match fitness. Can't really take the goalkeeper off. Don't really want to take the goalkeeper off, so that's fine. So let's look out elsewhere to see what else we can do. Everyone else is playing well, but let's see if we can take out Joku and save his legs a little bit. And then we've got one more, and I want to take out one of these three guys. Let's take out Loku Doku and put in Murray. And again, just for that reason of saving him for more important matches to come, really, keep his conditioning high. And as I've said before, Murray and Murphy are two young guys on the right and left side as an option for our wingers. They play pretty well when they come in, so it's always useful to give them a bit of a run around. And we see out that game very, very comfortably. 4-1 winners. I'm very happy with that. So passionately will say I'm very pleased with that. Well done, lads. They've earned their money this week. And let's go and see what that's done to the league table. So Huddersfield continue to be a point above us, but we're getting a little bit of a gap now, especially to those that are just outside of those playoff areas. And that at this stage of the season is very, very good. If we can continue this run of form just through till Christmas and get a real security in those playoff places, then maybe we can begin to look ahead of us. But look at Southampton still sitting, 9 points clear of us, 8 points clear of Huddersfield, right on the top spot, and they're looking absolutely brilliant this season. They're going to be very, very hard to catch. I'm not interested in trying to catch them as much as I am in securing that playoff place. That is the minimum that I expect for us this season now, is that playoff place. If we can get it, brilliant. If we can get into that second place, then I will be absolutely delighted by that. But of course, that means that we get promoted, and then the real hard work again starts in making this side capable of playing Premier League football, especially because if we go and have a look at our squad, we do have a few guys on loan, especially the likes of Loku Doku and Roberto, and Alistair Murray, one of our youngsters on that wide area as well. So there's some really key players that we would have to probably find a way to replace if we get up into the Premier League. But then the Premier League money comes in, and so hopefully that would be helpful to us as well. So there's still some work to do on this Derby County side before ultimately we decide way down the line to move on from here, because I think there's another club in us in the higher reaches of the Premier League, just to see if we can get to that Champions League final, which of course will end the series. One Champions League final, that's all we get. If we reach it, doesn't matter whether we win or lose, that becomes the end point of the series. So there's still one more club in us, I think, but this Derby side, we can definitely get them into the Premier League, I think, and then we'll have to sort of suck it and see a little bit and see what happens really at that point. But anyway, really good performance again today. Hope you're enjoying this period of time with Derby, as I am. I think we did a lot of good work last season to really bed a good foundation into this side, and this season we're reaping the benefits of that a little bit and showing that we're capable of some good play. So long may that continue. Join me next episode where we'll finish off the calendar year with Swansea. And then we'll head into the January transfer window, and more excitement to come, I hope. So join me next episode. Great to have you with me today. Thanks for being a supportive network of people. I really appreciate all the love and the care that you show me, which is amazing. But until next time, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Join my United City community. If you like this particular episode, click that like button for me. Tell me about your Football Manager saves in the comments below. But until next time, take care of yourselves. I'll see you very soon. Bye for now.